Domino.
All right. Hello, Chicago Baseball. Back to Sunday night, Week 9 review, Week 10 preview. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, the commissioner, my son, the executive producer of this show, Kids for the Win. What's up, buddy?
Fuck you, Dad.
You called me the other day to wish me Happy Father's Day early.
No,
I
that's
thought that
not.
was
It's
really
not. I
nice.
did not
I
call
know
you.
you
That's
were
not.
extremely intoxicated in Bass Lake, but I do appreciate it.
Uh,
Uh, and
how's it going? It's going good. It's going
It's
good.
good. And our guest of the week is Rose all day. Mr. Hoffman, how are you?
Hey, rose all day.
Rose all day, boys.
Rose all day.
I had a Cubs hat like that, and Ryan Sandberg signed it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I still have it.
Very
Actually, I
nice.
have.
Nice.
All right. So we're all good today. So let's get down to business. I know the Cubs game Houston, there was the whole Amaro Jr. with the foul ball. I think it's kind of crazy that MLB doesn't have like the netting farther down the lines. It's kind of been left up to the baseball teams. So I thought it was kind of shocking. I know NHL's got nets up behind the goals now, so I think it's a little crazy they don't have those nets up there. Balls are coming in over 100 miles per hour, and everyone, the mother's on their phone trying to get food or whatnot, and these balls are just come flying in. So I think it's going to be interesting when they start transitioning to make everyone have that. It's good that we have a lawyer on the show this week to kind of clue us in on that.
Don't read the back of your ticket. You're kind of giving up your ability to sue.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you buy that ticket.
Yeah. And they have those signs posted, watch out for balls and bats, but still, they need to do something more than that.
Well, do you think you're gonna take it? It's gonna take someone dying. That's what happened in hockey. That's why hockey's got the nets or whatever it is behind there. There's a 6-year-old kid got hit, or 9-year-old kid got hit with a puck and he died. And then like literally the next day they changed it. So
they're gonna do something soon. They have to.
Yeah. They don't have to though. They don't. I mean, so I was listening to it. Yes, again on the Athletic Drink. If you're playing that game. And they were saying how Houston actually has the longest nets. Theirs go out the longest. And the majority of the people that buy tickets that sit behind like home plate and the people that sit behind like where the really close to the stadium that paid a lot of the money, they're complaining that if you put the nets up, they're not going to come. They're not going to watch the games, which is fine because there's hundreds of millions of other people that want to go to games unless you're a Tampa Bay Rays fan because there's no one at that game. But I don't know. I don't honestly. I don't see anything happening anytime soon. Like if you told me by 2020 all 32 teams had nets going from foul pole to foul pole, I would be shocked. I'd be utterly amazed if that happened. If you said by 2025, I could see it, but I really don't. I don't foresee it happening in the anytime future. I mean, even like going back to Dodger Stadium, we're going a little long in this one, but when I was there and I had season tickets, there would be fights all the time, and there'd be people pushing each other off of like the little veranda, the balcony that was just like. It was between like the mezzanine and the lower level. It was only about a 5-foot drop. They'd be pushing people off that all the time. And there was no railing on this thing whatsoever. The railing came at your like knees. And it's still the same way to this day. They haven't changed that. And people have fallen off there and hurt themselves like beyond injured themselves. So it's a scary thing. But I just don't see it ever changing.
We shall see. We shall see. They do. Another little quick thing. Month of May, they set a record for homers, 1,120 homers in the month of May. That average is 36 homers a day. They were hitting.
Seriously?
Really? If you divide that up by 31, it comes out to 36.
That's insane.
It's like more than 2 homers a game every day. That's crazy.
And there's had been
they're denying a juice ball. Come on.
It's a rabbit ball. Come on. That's insane. That's a lot of home runs, man.
Yes.
That is a lot. If you lost any week, wow. Holy shit. That's a lot. That's a stat. That is
They
a
needed
stat.
I think they needed 25 homers on the 31st, and MLB had a countdown every time they hit a homer. That's subtracting to what they got.
1,000
They're
of them
taking
were
bets.
Derek Dietrich.
Yeah, he did have a lot. Derek
All right.
Dietrich and Yelich. Didn't
Yeah.
Yelich have like 8 or 9 in a week?
Crazy.
All right, Maddie, we'll move on to our fantasy. Speaking of fantasy production, what do you got to say for this week's fantasy news?
So I was listening to, again, The Athletic, a fancy little podcast I like to listen to. And they were talking about, is Trout number 1 still? And I'm like, this is interesting. So I listened, and he kind of put it to the other two guys. And the other two guys in the podcast, it's Jake Seeley is the host of it, but the other two guys both played for MLB. And one of the guys still is involved in MLB, part of like the MLB Players Association, on their I think he might be on their legal side. I'm not 100% sure on this, but he knows a lot about baseball and just in general a lot about MLB. And he was saying there's no way that Mike Trout's not number 1 for everything that he gives you, all of his numbers and everything. And this is going to be a prelude to what we're going to talk about later on for PJ's topic. But it's a discussion, you know. I mean, in our league alone, right? I mean, how many times have we talked about on this podcast? What's really hard to find? Like right now, what's the hardest category to find? You would say
Hardest category to find
in hitting.
It's got to be stolen bases, right?
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. And
Yeah.
do you really think?
With that, PJ? That's for sure.
Yeah. And
Me too, Maddie.
And I'm not saying that, you know, Mike Trout's not going to steal bases. I had it up here, I think. So just going by the bat, which is Derek Carty's projection system. Mike Trout right now, you know, this is just projecting the rest of the season, right? So we got 31 home runs, 81 runs, 75 RBI, 10 stolen bases. He's already got 7, so that would put him at a 17 mark. And then that's like, you know, of course, there's going to be a crazy OBP, something in the 450s, 454 that he has him down as. I'm not saying I would do this, but if I had Mike Trout and someone like Max is going to be like, here's, you know, Alberto Mondesi, for example, and then, I don't know, maybe throw in something even like, I was trying to put 2 people together that would think it would be crazy, but
like Alberto Mondesi and a pitcher or something.
Well, I was trying to keep it hitting just so like you could get the same thing out of 2 people kind of, but a pitcher, yeah. But it's not crazy to think that you would trade Mike Trout for something like that. Because if you think about it, you could win stolen bases in the category. So in our fantasy league, is Mike Trout, is he number 1 or is he worth whatever the fuck people paid for him? I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying Mike Trout's not the best overall fantasy player. I'm not saying that, but it's a discussion you could have. And I think if I had Mike Trout and someone came to me that the guy that was going to steal a lot of bases and that already has stolen a lot of bases this year, maybe with another guy that can hit me some home runs, I'd possibly do it. I don't know. Would you do Mike Trout for Christian Yelich right now?
I mean, I think you'd have to have that conversation, right? I mean, Yelich has a good group around him. He's got RBIs and runs. Those things will be padded. And whereas like Trout's doing all the work himself, him and DeStella. I mean, that's not a very good.
Estella.
Yeah.
Hey, that second baseman I just picked up from them, Fletcher, dude was on fire this week. He had like 9, 10 runs, no home runs. OBP's good, 1 stolen base, 2 RBIs. Yeah, I don't know. I was just one. I was thinking about it when I was listening to it. They argued it for a while, and
what about Mookie Betts?
Yeah, I mean, Betts is 71 runs, 21 home runs, 6. Yeah, never mind. I don't know. We'll have to see about it.
Yeah,
it's a possibility. I still don't think Betts would run as much as someone like Alberto Mondesi.
Yeah,
but it's possible. Betts, yeah. So
there's definitely some debate here, you know,
yeah,
between him, Bellinger, Yelich, you know. So there's definitely some guys.
This is again a point. Yeah, this is a prelude to what PJ is going to talk about. It's going to be even a prelude to get in the box. But I just think, like, just as an overall, we get hung up, I think, a little bit too much with the names And like, oh, Mike Trout, it's Mike Trout. I'm going to pay $90 for him. Oh, it's, like, even for example, nothing against Dave, so don't take this the wrong way, but, Kershaw, $33 for Kershaw. Like, I just go down the list of other players that we spent less on that are better than, something like that. Like, it's the fucking name. And going back to Ken still thinks that Bumgarner is Bumgarner from like 5 years ago. And he's not. He's just not. He's just a pitcher. He's just a jag. Just another guy.
Turned into get in the box. So we're
It
gonna
has,
move
so we
on
can
to
move on.
this. We're gonna move on this week's matchup. We're actually gonna start with you versus Drew, a 7-2 victory for you.
Talking about stolen bases, can our brother get one more?
Yes. Hey, winning OBP this week. Congratulations, 388. Congratulations to that.
Did you see what it was on Friday? It was in the 400s on Friday, like Friday night going into Saturday. It was in the 400s.
Congratulations. Congratulations on your moves. 83 Ks, well done. 5 quality starts. ERA and WHIP, a little high this week for you. I know you had a couple guys get rocked around, but
they did.
Solid win for you. Drew, 5 stolen bases. That was probably about the really only shining moment for you. 31 runs, so 34 RBIs, but all you this week. Your rookie's coming through, buddy. 4 homers, 12 RBIs combined for them this week. They're doing
Riley
good
and they're insane. Even Hoskins is
and Pete.
Yeah, Pete and those two guys, Austin Riley and Pete Alonso. Man, those guys are studs. They both went overs today, but they're really good. It's 7-2. It was, I think there was 9-1 at one point. It's not as, it's still a good victory, but I think it was closer than, if you give them a look at runs, Mookie Betts is still playing. Like, technically could have got one. He's 0 for 4 right now. I don't know about that, but 5 stolen bases is close. So, he could have got 3 more in there, but had a good week. And hey, just to say, both of us, me and Drew, made some really big trades. I like my guys quite a bit. And again, look at his guys with he getting Trout and Betts and I don't know who else did he get in that deal. Oh yeah, the Blackman who's on the IL still right now. I guess he should have kept his other guys. His other guys did very, very well for him this week, and he would have actually won this week if he would have had those other guys, or not won, but he could have tied me actually. I think. So
yeah,
which is like a win against a champ like Matt.
I predicted. What did I predict? 10-0.
Yes.
This is what you get for vetoing me. It's great.
And you add PJ?
Too soon.
Too soon. No way.
Anything to add, PJ? As you take your cocktail. All right, then we will move on.
Wait, hold on. Sorry, we gotta stop real fast.
Oh,
so my beer of the week.
Sorry.
Beer of the week. So I stopped at a brewery in Knox, Indiana, around the lake. It's called 1056 Brewing. Can I get a nice label? Ooh, there it is. It's kind of cool. It's in this bottle. So it's CHL IPA, which is a chamomile, honey, lavender IPA.
Can you also pour it in the bathtub and it'll have a nice little bubble bath for you?
I sent a picture of it to Dave, and he says that's a fancy beer. That I should drink it with my pinky up.
Can I give a shout out for a beer that I drank earlier tonight, but I'm not drinking right now?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Brooklyn Brewery, they've got a new sour, and it is unbelievable. Unbelievable. If you're into sours, check out the new Brooklyn Brewery sour.
You got a name?
No, it's literally, I don't know what it's called. I have no idea. I literally bought one of them when I was in Brooklyn this weekend and brought it back with me. It was tasty.
I will take a trip over to Binny's and see if I can find it. I do enjoy a good sour.
Good sour.
All right.
Just like you enjoy a good dick once in a while.
Oh. Speaking of your beer, you have him watching this apparently, so you're getting some. Is he paying you for your advertising?
Yeah. So the brewmaster, I told him what we do, and he's like, "Really?" He goes, "I'll follow you and watch your video." I'm like, "Yeah, you don't have to do that." And he goes, "No, why not?" So I said, "What's your name?" I'm like, Matt Wenz, and he looked it up and followed. So I got another follower. I have no idea if he's gonna watch this, and if he does, tasty beer, buddy. It's really, really good. I'm sorry if I disappoint you, because this is that's like, but
lots of bubbles in the bathtub when you pour it in.
Yeah.
All right, on to Chris and Memo. I guess an upset win. I guess I would say 6-3 Memo this week. Chris 11 RBIs, 39 RBIs, 5 stolen bases, a bad ERA and WHIP. Memo, Rory coming through. I mean, Chris having an okay week. Pitching not so well. Memo, your 3 pitchers didn't do bad. Serger was great. Sale got lit up with good Ks this week, but got lit up. DeGrom had a hip cramp, they said, but
Yeah. He says he's okay, but yeah, a hip cramp. That's what I heard too.
not sure how you get a hip cramp, but I don't know. But nice win for Memo. He won 3 out of 5 of the pitching categories there. So yeah, nice offense for Chris. I guess 40 RBI.
I gotta say it. Sorry, I'm talking over you, Dom. I always tell people not to do that. I apologize.
No, it's all good.
I gotta say, like Memo, like I think we've been giving people shit for like not doing the small things. Like PJ, for example, he picked up Dan Vogelbach. That was a great pickup. He was doing something good. No one's picking this guy up, and he's still doing good for you. But Memo went out, gave Dave the contracts. Dave put up a trade. Say he wanted, for his two relievers. I didn't believe in him. I still kind of don't believe in the Kelly thing in Texas, but just the other day they made Leclerc the opener for a day, and I don't know. They keep saying he's going to come back, but who knows? But he picks up the 2 guys. He gets 4 innings out of them, 2 saves, 4 strikeouts. His ERA on one was 9, then 0. But overall, for that little innings, it's not too bad. Way to go. I commend Memo. By doing so, he literally won himself a category and won himself, I didn't win himself the week for it, but he won himself a category by doing it. And it's fucking, I'm not saying brilliant, but that's what this game's all about. Finding something. Dave didn't want much. Memo doesn't have a lot of money here. You want my contracts? Take them. I'll get 2 closers. Hopefully he can win me a couple categories here and there. And I just think that's awesome. I mean, you look at someone like Chris, who's, I guess, I don't know. Does Chris have a lot of money? He could have probably went out and bought somebody, but I guess he doesn't have that much money though.
No, he's kind of low. He's up probably in the 60s.
I think he has 90.
90, yeah. I don't know what you can
I mean, if you have that much
$90.
money and you're not doing anything with it,
that's like only 12 feet of coins for Scrooge McDuck instead of 14 feet of coins.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I guess it does carry over. Well, some of it does, but geez Louise. Way to go, Memo. That's all I got to say. Nice win.
All right. Battle of the BMWs. Ken versus Dave. All Dave here. I know Ken's building for next year, but Dave, solid week, 35 RBIs.
Dave's building for next year.
Yeah, but I thought he actually improved his team after his trade. But, solid win for him. 5 quality starts, 38 RBIs, 11 homers. Ken, 6 stolen bases. So that was about his shining thing of the week. But, yeah. But he got a new car. So congratulations to Ken on his new car.
It's funny. If you look at Dave's his line total, he would have got actually – if he would have kept the guys this week and didn't trade him to Memo, he would have got the 2 stolen bases, and he would have it would have been an 8-1 victory. I mean, for everything Dave's done, he's still got a solid team. He keeps trading guys and keeps getting different things for it. I mean, again, the guys he traded away this week, what they've done better than what the guys that he's got for them. I mean, Ryan McMahon, I still can't believe, I don't even know how he's doing it, but 3 runs, a home run, 4 RBIs, 348. Where's he? Torres, 7 for 22, so 348 batting OBP again, 3-2-1, still good. Frazier, I mean, just had 1 home run, 315, not great, but got him the home run. And then, I mean, you look at his bench, and he still is like, he's got a good team. He's got a solid team, and I think he's going to be contending strong for next year. I'm not sure about all the pitching he's been picking up lately, but we'll see. Giolito has made me look stupid over the past couple of weeks. That dude
Where did this guy come from?
I know. I don't even know. How do you go from like doing shit to like this? I was watching on Twitter the Pitching Ninja, and they tunneled his curveball and a slider and like some other breaking pitch, and it was sick. He made whoever he was throwing to, it was the Indians, just look silly. He had one that was this. It went from like 12-6, just straight down, and it was Jose Ramirez. Dude just stood there. He didn't even just stood there and didn't do anything, and the ball looked like it came in. And it looked like it just circled up and went straight down into the catcher's mitt. He is unbelievable.
That was a heck of a pickup he got from Sean there.
Yeah, Sean lost that, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, speaking of Sean, solid win for him this week over Max, 9-1. All the stolen bases for Sean this week. Nice 38 runs, 41 RBIs, 8 saves, 76 Ks. ERA was high of 4.30, but 5 quality starts. So big win for Sean over Max. I don't know. We thought Max was possibly rebuilding, or not rebuilding, but improve this team competitive this year. But this one's going to hurt him for sure.
I guess I should.
But he did win stolen bases, so he got back on his stolen base. 9 stolen bases for him this week.
He did. I guess I should eat a little crow for what I just said about Sean losing that trade. He got Seager and Voit in that trade, and combined Seager and Voit went 9 RBI, 9 runs, 4 home runs, and 7 RBIs, and had a somewhat of a 20 OBP. I think Dave gave up way too early on Seager. Seager can be something, Think about it, Sean. You could have had Seager and Baez on your team next year. Oh, fuck. He trades Baez away, and Baez goes 1 for 10. And he's hurt now. Maybe Sean knew something.
Well,
I'll take it.
Arrieta didn't do anything. He had 5 innings with an ERA of 9. Carrasco, 6 in the third with an ERA of 8. And then John Lester, 5 in the third with 11 ERA. That's a lot of innings.
I'm so glad I didn't get anything. I was trying to trade Lester to him so hard. I'm glad I didn't get him.
Agree. I was trying to get him, and he looks like he's catching up. The age is catching up to him.
Well, his FIP, his xFIP, the last I was in a podcast again, Athletic Drink, and
You're making me finish drinks tonight.
Yeah, I know. His xFIP, I think it was like 4.13.
Well, I mean, he's been pretty good. He's had 1 or 2 bad outings, but he had a good start.
He has not. I mean, he's been playing over his head. He has been pretty good. Yes, I will agree with that. But he's playing over his head. He's playing better than what he should be playing, I guess. And now you can look at it. Sean, though, I will say this just to recap on it. So far, out of all the teams we've talked about, me, Drew, Chris, Memo, Ken and Dave, and then Max and Sean. I mean, Sean looks legit. Every week we keep talking about it, and almost for the most part, I mean, he's got 2 losses in there. But I mean, he looks pretty legit. I would have to say. I think this week, and I mean, I'm not trying to, saying that me and Sean are some of the best teams in the league, but I think me and Sean, after this week, we might have just punched our tickets to the playoffs.
It's because half the team's given up, Matt.
Well, I know. I mean, yeah.
You can make it to the playoffs by just not giving up in this league.
I know. If you look at it, number 6 is you, PJ, and you have almost a 500 record right now.
I mean, Chris I think you can make it to the playoffs, man.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And then Chris has a under 500 record, and he's only in 7th place. It's pretty sad. But anyways, so far so good, Sean.
So me and Mr. Rose, pretty close battle here, at least the offensive side.
Jesus Christ. 11,
shit done, man.
12.
42 RBIs. We're tied in 42 RBIs. PJ, what the hell? 3 stolen bases this week?
I mean, I got one from Jay Bruce. That's what we're talking about. That's the kind of week it was. I needed that Jay Bruce stolen base to push me over the top.
But 42 RBIs, 33 runs, 12 to 11 homers. Nice week. I had a real bad OBP of 310 this week, but So congratulations, nice win, buddy.
I mean, look, from a guy who has 6 guys on the DL, I think you gave that to me. I didn't earn that this week. I appreciate it. You just had a bad week, and I'll take the W.
You're welcome for Escobar, by the way.
Thanks, buddy. It's been a stud. He was a throw-in. He was like a I don't know, throw somebody in. It's been a stud.
That's how that conversation went down. You're like, I don't know who don't you want? I'm like Escobar. And you're like, all right, I'll take him.
Yeah, who are you gonna drop? Escobar. Great, I'll take him. Whatever.
Domino, if you could just get Machado to hit for you, and I have damn it all. I know Davis just came back, but you're consistently in the home runs in the 10 to 15 range, and your RBIs are just unbelievable. I mean, some of us, even myself, sometimes I've like 8 home runs and 30 RBIs, but you 11 home runs, 42 RBIs. Same thing with PJ. Nice week, guys. I don't know what it says about your OBP. Maybe you got guys on your team that just hit home runs, but damn.
Yeah. We'll see. Good week, Dom.
Thank you. Yeah, it could have went either way. It was back and forth pretty much most of the week.
It was 4-4 until late this afternoon, until I got one last home run to put me over. But I mean, it was tied 4-4. I think as late as like 6 or 7 this afternoon.
Yeah, it was a good matchup there. So congratulations, buddy.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, and then our last matchup, Niz versus Scotty. All Scotty. Scotty jumped all over that bad Monday pitching by Niz. 41 runs, 12 homers, low RBIs. Not too low for Scotty, 34. 391 OBP, 75 K, 6 quality starts. So solid win for Scotty for sure over Niz.
Yeah, Niz, you suck. I know you're watching this. You absolutely suck. You might have one of the worst teams in this league. You have 11 home runs, 28 RBIs. Last week, what did he have? 21 home runs and 39 RBIs? Your team does not hit RBIs. And he just had, what's his name?
Gallo go down.
Yeah. Springer's down. Pollock's still down. Gallo's down. I don't think Stanton's ever coming back. He's still playing Hamilton. Good job. You got your 1 stolen base and two runs. Good job. He made a trade with Dave. He had to suck Dave's balls until they're blue, and then jack him off probably in Dave's new car. But man, you do not have a good team, Niz. You should be closer to the bottom, which you will be after this week. So congratulations.
Hey, Dom, yeah. I'm really excited, guys. I'm excited to trade for all of Niz's team this week. Now that he's
when Niz starts selling you me?
Hey, hold on. Call me.
Just make sure it's been offered to someone else. So it's all
call
good.
me. I got you, Niz. Hook you up.
The best part of this is that PJ is implying that Niz is selling now. PJ's making fun.
I'm straight up saying it. Niz, call me. Sell your team.
You've heard it first on this podcast. What is this? June 2nd, 8:45 p.m. Niz is officially selling off. But just going back to Scotty's team, I mean, I don't know if I know we're done with the things right now, but his team looks legit. That's all I got to say. I don't even want to say it, but he does.
Yeah. So we're gonna move into PJ's guest topic. You want to explain what your topic is here, PJ?
Yeah. So my topic is the significant changes in top 15. So where do we have for top 15 in the beginning of the year? What do we got top 15 this year or this part of the year, right? So batters top 15 and pitchers top 15. And we'll talk about kind of what are going to be the top 15 players going forward. Big changes, right? Big changes from the beginning of the year. So let's just run through from the start of the season who are the top rated hitters, top 15 rated hitters, just real quick. And
real fast, before you go, PJ, I was just saying, so I actually put it together for all of us to look at on the spreadsheet. Yeah. And I did 15 because I didn't want to go too long. We are also, just to preference this whole thing, I just strictly went off of what Yahoo has ratings. So we're reading what Yahoo has at the start of the season and reading what Yahoo has now in our league. So this is going to change a little bit in other things, but we're not talking about other leagues. We're talking about our league. And also it could change a little bit to what you think. So like, if you see someone in there, like example, like Jose Barrios is like the top 15 pitcher at the start of the season. I took off reliever. There's no relievers in this. It's just starting, pitching, and hitting. So go for it, PJ.
And I put together a top 15, top pitchers, 15 pitchers going forward list as well. Okay. So we'll see how that goes. But we'll start. So real quick, let's go through the hitters. Starting at the beginning of the season, top 15 were, these are names we all know. These are like household names, right? Mike Trout, Mookie Betts, Nolan Arenado, JD Martinez, Trey Turner, Christian Yelich, Ron Acuna, Jose Ramirez, Jose Altuve, Bryce Harper, Trevor Story, Aaron Judge, Alex Bregman, Javi Baez, and Freddie Freeman. And when we look at the top 15, I think there's a lot of those names are still on there, but there's a few surprises. As of today, a lot of surprises, right? Today, from out of nowhere, like from the peanut gallery, number one hitter, Cody Bellinger. What a stud.
He's not from the peanut gallery.
He's not in the top 15, and he's jumping in from out of the top 15 to the number one overall player.
I think that's crazy that he's an overall player, but he had that potential from the beginning. I wanted to draft him 2 years ago. I keep going back to the Cody Bellinger thing. Like Niz jumped in there and told Pete to draft him. Dude had more talent than a lot of other players coming out of the draft, and that's why the Dodgers got him so highly, or why the Dodgers wanted him. But at the same point in time, I'm not that shocked that he's in the top 15 at all.
So real quick, as we go through this, just tell me what Dom and Matt both, right? We'll go through each player. Tell me, is this person going to stay at that rank for the rest of the season, or are they going to go up or down, right? So, like, is Cody Bellinger going to stay the number one player for the rest of the year?
That's a tough one. Especially with Yelich and Story, and so I think it's going to fluctuate between those guys, but he'll be up there.
I'll give him top 3, maybe top 4, somewhere in that range.
Okay. All right. So number 2 player is Christian Yelich. Having a monster season, second monster season in a row. Is Christian Yelich going to be staying in the top 2, 3 range? He's going to be in that range too with Mike Trout and Cody Bellinger.
I can't see why not. He's done this pretty much for a whole year now. He's just been on a tear. So I would say yes.
Yeah.
Trevor Story. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Matt.
I said the same thing. It's Bellinger, Yelich, and then number 3, not to jump over, but number 3 is Mike Trout. I honestly see those 3 as a 1, 2, 3 for maybe the rest of the season. There's a possibility someone else could drop in there, but from what I see those 3 top there.
Like, do you think there's a gap between those 3 and then the next level of players, basically? I think maybe. So. I think those guys are great. Alexa, turn off. So we got next up is Trevor Story, Joey Gallo, Josh Bell. Got 3 names in there that are kind of mercurial players. Trevor Story's kind of always had the talent. Was he going to get there? Joey Gallo, was he ever going to put it all together? And Josh Bell. Josh Bell. Where did this guy come from? You were giving away Bob. I didn't even want him when we were in Pittsburgh.
Now that's a name that I could say, like, wow, that's a name that came out of the peanut gallery, as you said, to the top 15. Like I wouldn't have, if you had told me Josh Bell's in the top 15, starting June 1st, I'd been like, maybe the 15th player, maybe because he hit a bunch of home runs, and essentially that's what he's doing. But he's kind of putting it all together, and with that Pittsburgh team, it's coming together for him. Hey, just real quick to go back to that Trevor Story thing, kind of the thing that I was talking about earlier is Mike Trout, the number 1 overall player. You look at Mike Trout and Trevor Story right there. Trout's number 3, Story's number 4. He's having a fucking phenomenal year. Going back a couple years ago when I picked up Story for like $2, no one wanted him, and he was, playing amazing. I got death threats from everyone that I was trading Trevor Story for Max Scherzer. As right now, that trade, if you were to try to pull that trade off, I don't know if Scott would give Trevor Story to Memo for Max Scherzer. I don't think that would happen. He might, but he's got him 4 years at $25. And that's another problem. Why is he only $25? Did no one
Trevor Story? Yeah,
Yeah.
it was one of those. We looked at each other. Nobody put the money in. It was just one of those moments. It was like that one. It was like when you bid $27 on Pete Alonso before he was even had a starting job. 17. It was like that. It was when James Paxton went for like $18. I was like, what? So
no, that both the first analogy you gave was good. The second one was horrible.
okay.
But anyways, yeah, you're right.
All right.
Just
so
move it along a little bit.
Other top 15 players. George Springer, who's down for the count, so he's hurt. But he was on a tear before going down. Nolan Arenado, stud. Anthony Rizzo, Alex Bregman. So we'll put George Springer aside because he's hurt. But Nolan Arenado, Rizzo, Bregman, those are household names. Those are big names. Those are big hitters.
Moving along a little bit, PJ. Just read the whole list.
Sure. Alberto Mondesi, Marcell Ozuna, Chris Bryant, Mookie Betts, Rhys Hoskins. Any names stick out at all about that are strange on that list? I think Ozuna having a great year.
Phenomenal year. Hey, just real fast. So because we do want to compare these things, I just want to go over it again real fast. So the names that are right now is Cody Bellinger, Christian Yelich, Mike Trout, Trevor Story, Joey Gallo, Josh Bell, George Springer, Nolan Arenado, Anthony Rizzo, Alex Bregman, Alberto Mondesi, Marcell Ozuna, Chris Bryant, Mookie Betts, and Rhys Hoskins. And what I did is I color-coded it, and the ones that were not in it, I made them yellow so we could see it real fast. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 names that were not in the top 15 beginning of the season that now are. 3 players, the other 6 players that are still in it, 3 of them moved up, 3 of them moved down. And I know this top 15 is top 15. Like Mike Trout went from number 1 to number 3. Nolan Arenado went from 3 to 8. And then Mookie Betts went from 2 to 12? No, 14. Then you got Bregman moving up, Trevor Story, and Christian Yelich. So you're right. Springer's hurt. Gallo's hurt too. But some of these names in there, like Rhys Hoskins is 15th, and it's one of these amazing players. You got Marcell Ozuna is just amazing, and you got Nolan Arenado's a little lower, but he's a stud, like you said. Those are 3 great players. If someone had those 3 players on their team, they should be doing really well.
I believe that's you.
That's not bad.
Yes.
Not bad. All right.
He'll be getting George Springer apparently pretty soon.
He's for sale. They're all for sale. If they're on Niz's team, they are available.
But I just want just we don't have to harp on it anymore. But some of these players, like Josh Bell and Alberto Mondesi, those are 2 players I pick out there. Like at the beginning of the season, I don't think I would ever have picked those 2 to be in the top 15, and they're producing. I honestly don't see those 2 moving out of the top 15. Maybe Josh Bell a little bit, but Alberto Mondesi might even go a little bit higher. On it.
Mondesi's hot. He's a great player. That was a good pickup for sure. All right, the pitchers. A lot more movement on the pitchers. You're going to find. We'll go through real quick the top 15 names and these are all the household folks that were there at the beginning of the year, the blue chippers. But there is a significant difference between those players and the players that are now the top 15. So the ones that started the season top 15, Scherzer, DeGrom, Sale, Verlander, Kluber, Cole, Snell, Nola, Carrasco, Syndergaard, Walker Buehler, Trevor Bauer, Jack Flaherty, Jameson Taillon, Jose Berrios. That is, those are a lot of good players, but not that many of those players are on the top 15 overall players. So let me go through the top 5 players. Let's speed this along. Top 5 players right now, this part of the year. And let's talk about it. Any of these are surprise names, okay? So Justin Verlander, number 1. Hyun-Jin Ryu, number 2. Zach Greinke.
Asian.
He's on my team. He's a stud. Matt Boyd and Steven Strasburg. So 2 of the top 5 players, Ryu and Strasburg. Those are my players. Just to be clear, those are my players. But yeah, 5 named right there. Those are 1 big name, 2 big names. The rest of them kind of not in the top 15. What do you guys think about those guys?
I think Verlander by far is the best starting pitcher in the game right now. I think he's definitely taken over that from Serger for sure. He's definitely taken that over. Obviously Greinke's pitching phenomenal, trying to pitch his way out of Arizona, I would say. But Strasburg's shown the potential that we all thought he had, and he's pitching well. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, the two names on that list that you just kind of went through, just those 5 names, you got Verlander, Ryu, Greinke, Boyd, and Strasburg. Boyd, and Ryu are the two kind of little bit just different names, I guess you could say, from the other ones. But Ryu's been pitching phenomenal, and really it kind of has put together just one of his best seasons, like a career season. And same thing with Boyd, I guess, just kind of he's had some potential, but I think he's probably pitching a little bit above his head. And like Dom said, Strasburg, I think, just to touch on that, he honestly he's always had that potential to be a top 5 starting pitcher. So.
Yeah, Strasburg just needed to be healthy. But how do you value, right, like this part of the year? How do you value a guy like Ryu or Boyd who's having a stud year but has not had it before? Like, do they trade in right now like you would a top 5 pitcher going forward? Like, how do you value them in a league like ours?
I think the 3 of us would all value those guys quite differently, to be honest.
Well, so I don't know. So, tell me what how do you value those guys? Like, how does anybody who's in a league who has a player like that, who's kind of out of nowhere, but is like pitching, like crazy good, like how do you value a guy like that? If they're trying to make trades, what kind of players can you get for a guy like Ryu or Boyd? Right.
So you want us to trade your players for you right now? Is that what you're trying to do?
Well, let's just walk through it. I don't have Boyd.
This is what I'll say. I don't know about Boyd. Kind of scares me pitching in Detroit. I'm not sure what they would do come the trade, come the trade deadline, with the one trade deadline we have now, and that's it. You can't do anything after it. I could see Detroit just like blowing everything up. Like, fuck this. You're pitching great. You're pitching great. You're hitting good. You're hitting good. See ya. And I don't know where Boyd could go. He could go and be a 5th starter somewhere, like in I don't know. He could be a part of a deal to get other players back. So I really don't know about that. Hyun-Jin Ryu is probably a little bit higher on my list, and I would be willing to give up maybe a little bit more for. Just kind of been watching him more lately, and he's been pitching really, really well. They haven't really monitored his innings as much. He's got into a couple jams once recently against Arizona, I want to say, and he had 86 pitches. I don't remember all of it, but it was somewhere in that 86, somewhere around there. And it was the 5th inning, and they let him pitch through it. He had 2 runners on, 1 out. He got out of the inning, so he did pretty well. And he did not come back out in the 6th, or maybe he did. He got the quality start, so maybe he came back on the 6th and pitched the 6th. But
yeah,
Dodgers don't usually do that type of stuff, so they must see something.
He's got a FIP of 2.52, right? Like his advantage.
Yeah, he's
like all those other guys too, right? The Boyds of the world, like they look good. They look good. Their advanced metrics look good. So it's just hard to tell whether they'll keep going.
Yeah, well, that's what I said about Boyd. I honestly think he's on a different team later on. I don't know. Like, he's not gonna. If he's on a different team, who knows what's going on with that? He still is pretty good, and I'd take him in a trade. And, I don't know if I'd give up like Rhys Hoskins for him. I give up Rhys Hoskins for like Verlander. I give up Rhys Hoskins. I'm just saying a top 15th ranked hitter for one of these guys in the top, moving up a little bit. I don't know. Hitters are worth a little bit more than pitchers. Maybe not. I don't know.
I feel like in this league, you kind of asked about it, PJ. I feel like people are much more cautious about trading a top pitcher compared to a top
hitter,
offensive player. I think it's much harder to get a stud pitcher than it is to get a stud bat, I think, in the league.
Yeah. I hear PJ. How long do you have Ryu for?
I have him this year for $1.
So you could franchise him?
Yeah.
Would you at this point right now? Would you probably?
I mean, he's going to bring back more than $11. $11 is like Rick Porcello. Like it's like, I don't know who's at $11.
No, I mean, but I mean, are you valuing that he's $1 and you can franchise him next year for $11? Like, how much is that going into his value.
I think he's probably like right now pitching for the rest. I'm just going to say the rest of the year, right? And then we can figure out like other contract stuff. But I think the rest of the year, he's like a $30 pitcher, right? He's got to be one of the top 10 or 15 pitchers going forward. I don't see a reason
I think
why
he is. So
I agree.
what would you, as far as the hitter goes, you want a top 15 hitter then, right?
I think you'd have to, right? You'd have to look at I mean, look, he's not going to probably go for like Mike Trout, but could he go for, I don't know, could he go for like Chris Bryant? Yeah, sure. Absolutely. You know, could he go for like Alex Bregman? Maybe. Like, I don't know what their contracts are, but like these are the types of names that I think you'd have to look at realistically to be in that range. Ozuna or Hoskins. You know, you start getting up to like the Joey Gallo, Trevor Story, like that's a tougher sell, I think. But I think you can make a legitimate top 15 hitter. So I don't want to make this the Ryu show. We know we got a lot of other good pitchers here, but
No, that's fine.
I thought it was interesting just given the the dynamic of those types of guys. So we have other kind of not no namers, but people who weren't anywhere near the list going forward. So the number 6 through 10 pitchers are now Mike Soroka, Chris Paddock, Garrett Cole, Luis Castillo, Max Scherzer. Right? Those are some.
Yeah, I mean, those are some good names. Again, you go in, like if you had someone on their team had like Greinke and Paddock and Cole, I mean, they should be doing really well.
You'd think so, but then Memo's got like DeGrom and Scherzer and Sale.
Yeah, we haven't even said those names yet, though.
Seems garbage. And then last guys are Charlie Morton, Blake Snell, Caleb Smith, Tyler Glasnow, who's been injured for like 4 weeks and he's still a top 15.
Yeah, I know.
And Jake Odorizzi. I mean, you've got a lot of new names on there. So I just thought it was interesting to bring up the idea that there's a significant change between the draft and what's happening even just this far through the season. So it's really important for folks to think about making trades or picking up guys as they go, and paying attention to where your guys are. There's a chance to buy low on some of those big names that aren't there yet, right? DeGrom, Sale, like Kluber, Nola. Those are names that are not on the top 15 list. They might be buy low candidates.
Buy low does not work in this league. I don't think anyone's ever bought low on anybody in this league. That I hate that.
Maybe
buy low,
buy high, but not as high as they are.
Yeah, maybe that's a better way to put it.
You're not getting them for $4, but
yeah, just real fast. I wanted to go to the list again because this list is more just completely different than the last list. So again, right now it's Justin Verlander, Ryu, Greinke, Matthew Boyd, Steven Strasburg, Mike Soroka, Chris Paddock,
Strasburg.
Yeah, Strasburg. Garrett Cole, Julio Castillo, Max Scherzer, Charlie Morton, Blake Snell, Caleb Smith, Tyler Glasnow, Jake Odorizzi. The only player on the list that's moved up that was already in the top 15 is Justin Verlander. And then the 3 players that moved down there still in the top 15, Garrett Cole, Max Scherzer, and Blake Snell. That means we have 11 players that were not in the top 15 that moved up. Again, there's some good names in here. You got Greinke, Strasburg, Glasnow.
Let me ask you a question. So does that mean that would you adjust your strategy when you look at your pitchers when you're in the draft, right? Dom, when you're thinking about the draft, are you going to spend less money on the high level pitchers because it seems like there's such a small chance that they stay like a top 15 pitcher? You
haven't listened to the podcast then, is what you're saying.
I listen
because I spent $12 on my pitching staff at the draft.
Well, at the draft, but you put some money into it from the year before.
I had Garrett Cole. That was it. I didn't have anybody coming over.
Well, that's why
I bought my pitching staff just because of him. Chris Paddock's on this list, right?
It's pretty good.
I'm just saying, we've talked about this before, and Memo spent all his money on his pitching. And if you look at it, the 2 teams that actually have had good pitching stats have been Niz and Scott, and they're the only ones with the reliever strategy and had decent pitching. It just, I said it, Memo went out and got a couple closers, and, I think it's going to make his team a lot better. I think it's hard to do. You can't think that you're going to get 5 stud pitchers and they're just going to carry your team because pitching's so unpredictable. I
So
think
I've got
baseball's
I've got one name to think of that's not on the top 15 going forward. You guys should think about who I think is going to have a stud second half, and that's James Paxton. I'm not saying it's because he's on my team. I'm saying because he had a little injury, he was out, but his FIP is 2.39. It's the lowest of the guys who are, have pitched long enough to be essentially qualified at this point. And 2.39 is solid. And he was out for like 3.5, 4 weeks. So just somebody to keep an eye on in the second half.
what you're saying is you're trying to trade James Paxton.
I'm not
and
trying to
someone
trade
else.
anybody. I just have to make room for all of Niz's players.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good topic. It's being something to look, at maybe the second half of the season and then the end of the season and compare it, see how it differed from June 2nd to where it is at the end of the year. If, like you said, if these pitchers are still there and guys on offense come back around and guys drop off. So it's something fun to debate and look at.
Yeah, it really is. And then PJ, you said you had your list?
Yeah, so going forward, I mean, I have a lot of guys that aren't necessarily on here, but top 15 going forward: Verlander, Scherzer, Cole, Sale, Ryu, DeGrom, Snell, Bauer, Paxton, Bueller, Corbin, Strasburg, Castillo, Greinke, Kershaw.
Yeah, there's some names in that list that you said that I'm like shocked. They're not like I'm shocked. Bauer's not in the top 15. Like just
Right.
like utterly shocks me. But yeah,
I agree. I agree. So yeah, we shall see. But I think it's everyone's favorite part of the podcast. Let's go get in the box.
that's correct, Domino. Let's go get in the box. So this hasn't been much that's pissed me off this week and made me upset. But I floated a couple trades out there, and I think after all the fiasco that's been going on, I've asked, after the trade, basically I get no way in hell, not enough, add more, you're crazy. And then I go, well, was it fair? And it doesn't even, I don't even get a response half the time. I've offered Rhys Hoskins to both Niz and Scott. I offered Hoskins to Scott for his AAA guy. He hasn't really got back to me at all. And then I offered Rhys Hoskins to Niz, and he's like, why do you want to get rid of a hitter? And why are you looking for pitching? I'm like, because I am. I have 4 guys on the DL that I got to do something with. And if I don't, I have to drop somebody. I'm going to have to stop dropping people. Both Didi Gregorius and Cruz are coming back next week. And Judge is coming. He just hit the cages, and he's going to go down to extended spring training. So he could be back by the middle of June, maybe a little bit later. So I got to find room for those guys. I hugely value Judge, like overvalue. I think I spent $53 on him. And then I think DD is still going to be pretty good. And, Cruz, I got in a trade, so I don't want to drop him. But I just honestly, my whole thing is, what is the name worth? So I'm not going to, say these names, but I just want you guys to listen to these stats, and you tell me who would you rather have for the rest of the season, right? So here we go.
Are these projected stats or these last year's stats or?
Oh yeah, no, these are projected stats from Derek Carty's The Bat System drink. I think I say that a lot too. Derek Carty from The Athletic. That's like a triple drink.
Is this sponsored by The Athletic?
I'm trying really hard. I'm really trying. I got a couple.
He really is trying his best.
I got 3 emails, and I got one response that was like, "Well, send us the link and we'll talk." And so I sent the link, and I haven't heard anything back.
Yeah,
it might not come back, but anyways, I love The Athletic. It's great. But anyways, so here we go. So these are stats projected going forward, starting from yesterday. So this is what these 2 players should do projected from the back going forward. So here you go. Runs 71, RBIs 21. Runs 71, home runs 21, RBI 63, stolen bases 11, and an OBP of 390. Player number 2, runs 64, home runs 27, RBIs 70, stolen bases 3, and OBP 372. So you look at it, player 1 is going to get you 6 more runs, Player one's going to get you what 6 less home runs. They're going to also player one's also going to get you what 7 less RBIs, but they're going to get you what 8 more stolen bases. Thank you. And then OBP is going to be in the .12 better. So and you guys can see them on the page. Like pick a guy. Which one would you rather have?
Probably the top guy.
Okay.
Yeah,
PJ?
I want those stolen bases. I mean, you can find home runs on the waiver wire. You can find guys on the waiver wire.
You can find 27 home runs on the waiver wire for the rest of the season?
No, I'm saying you can.
21 to 27. You can, and same with RBIs. But like I said, stolen bases is probably the hardest offensive category to find.
I agree. I agree. Yeah. And I looked at this too, and I'm like, that stolen base mark is pretty good. But overall, are these two players somewhat similar? Like in ranking wise, like how far do you think they'd be ranked apart?
I think the top guy. I think the first one is worth a little bit higher. I think he's a little bit higher ranked. Not just like I prefer him a little bit, but I think he's higher ranked. Not just the stolen bases, but the OBP. I mean, the OBP, like 12 points OBP is like that's real. That's worth something.
Yeah. Breaking news: me and PJ just went to 4-4. I just took whip.
No!
Wow! Nice! Domino!
Hit a home run?
Wow, that's great.
It was whip. It changed. So whoever we got pitching right now, just
my team is garbage.
Who do you got pitching right now, PJ?
You're gonna have Niz's team, so
I'm sorry. I don't have Niz's team. No, my relief pitcher
Barnes, Infinity.
Don't worry. Today my whip 3.5. My ERA 18 today.
So sorry to interrupt your get in the box. So
no, that's a good. I like that interruption. But going back, so those two guys, like how much? All right, so then look at player B, the player with the 27 home runs, 70 RBIs, 3 stolen bases, and the 327 OBP. So that trade, that straight up, those two guys straight up for each other probably is not a good trade, or it's close. You would have to throw in a little bit more. What?
I think the first guy is worth more. I think you'd have to throw in a few bucks or something else to get if you're trading the second guy to get the first guy.
Sure. So I would agree with that, but they're not far off, right?
No. I mean, it's in the ballpark, sure.
So who do you just give me? I mean, we don't have to spend a lot of time on it, but give me a name. Who do you think either one of these guys are?
Starling Marte.
No, not close at all.
Trevor Story.
No, he has more. I think he has more stolen bases projected. Anyways, all right, fine. We'll just go. Top guy is Mookie Betts. Bottom guy, Rhys Hoskins.
Yeah, Mookie Betts is better than Rhys Hoskins.
Yes, I know, but as right now ranked, Mookie Betts is the 14th best player, and Rhys Hoskins is the 15th best player. And I'm not saying that. Listen, I'm not trying to say that Mookie Betts is worse than Rhys Hoskins. I'm not trying to say Rhys Hoskins is better than Mookie Betts. But again,
hey, Matt,
I'm saying what?
Hyun-Jin Ryu is number 2 and Verlander's number 1. They're close. Do you think I could get Verlander for Ryu? No. Or do I need to throw a lot in?
You throw a lot in.
But both of them, wait, though. Both of those, I'm talking about a guy in Mookie Betts that's underperforming, and I talk about a guy in Rhys Hoskins that's overperforming, but they're now performing to about them up close to similar. I think Justin Verlander is way above Hyun-Jin Ryu. I don't think Mookie Betts is that much better than Rhys Hoskins is what I'm trying to get at.
Okay.
If you take away the names and take away everything else, the ballpark, for example, Hoskins hits in a better ballpark. It's already saying that Rhys Hoskins is going to hit more home runs and have more RBIs than Mookie Betts going forward. That's what this is saying. And I think that we take too much into the count of these names and things like that. And I'm not trying to, throw Drew under the bus or anything, but I offered him a trade and he wanted more for, Mookie Betts. And the only reason I even offered him a trade is because I asked Niz what he wanted for Gary Sanchez, and he said Mookie Betts.
Well, that's why Niz is not making any trades.
Yeah. And I understand, he's the best catcher out there. He's got him for a couple of years at $24, But again, we're talking like taking away, everything else on it. This league is so caught up on these fucking names. And like, going back to Ken, he's the same way on it. He's like, Mad Bum is like, the world. And, Memo's got 9, starting pitchers, those names out there. A name's a name. what you do on the field. If you took away all the names, you just put the stats on it, no one would even know who the fuck these players are.
I got to
You know.
break in again. I just took the lead of 5-4. Easier than you. Just scored a run. I'm winning 5-4 now. Just breaking. Sorry to interrupt. But DG eliminated.
That's
Just scored a
great.
run.
My
5-4.
pitchers that aren't Strasburg and Ryu are garbage.
We got Niz's team to help you out. So
Wait, breaking news.
congratulations.
I have breaking news. Niz and PJ are both selling. Niz and PJ are both selling. And Dom is buying.
With nothing, but I'm buying. The guy that wanted to sell is buying. I'm pulling a memo. I'm doing a memo. I'm buying. I'm selling him. But sorry.
I'll finish it up. I think we take too much into consideration what names are fucking worth. And, you know, if we actually looked at exactly what these people have been doing and what they will be doing and what the potential is, you know, I mean, I'll tell you, PJ, right now, I don't think you wouldn't trade Rhys Hoskins traded for 100 in Ryu, would you?
I don't. I normally I would say that would be in the ballpark. The problem for me is I don't need home runs and I need stolen bases. So that's not my guy to go for.
So that's fair. You know, I mean,
I think that they're in the ballpark. Yeah.
I think the biggest thing also for this our league compared to other leagues is contracts and, you know, years and money. So you obviously got to take that into consideration. You know, if they're both, you know, 1 year, but obviously yours is able to franchise. I don't think Hopkins, is he franchisable? Or is
he's not. He's not franchisable.
So
no.
That's something you got to consider too.
Yeah.
That, you know, Hopkins, you're going to get Ryu for next year for 11, where you can get is a hometown discount for.
Yeah, and you know what? I actually went back to Drew and I offered him Rhys Hoskins straight up for what's the second baseman or the outfield / guy from Kansas City? Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank.
Merrifield.
Yeah, Merrifield, and he said it was fair, but he needed second base, which he does. He doesn't. He doesn't have another second baseman. I mean, he does have.
Jeanette's available.
Yeah, but see, I don't like.
Those Yu Darvish, he's available to people.
Yu Darvish is also available.
Yu Darvish. Oh, I try to get Yu Darvish from PJ 100 times over. I think I actually offered you Rhys Hoskins once for him.
No, you offered me Christian Walker right before we went back to AAA.
He's hitting home runs. You know that, right? He hit 3 home runs this past week.
Great.
What did Yu Darvish do?
He threw a 1-hitter or 2-hitter this week.
Why didn't you play him against me?
I did. Oh, not against you.
You
well, yeah.
Yeah, you said.
Yeah. All right. So.
Anyways, that's my Get in the Box Domino.
Awesome.
Matchups for next week.
Very good. We'll start off with you versus Memo. Maddie, I know you were very motivated against Memo. So knowing that, I got you winning 9-1, everything but OBP. I got Maddie winning 9-1.
I got myself winning 6-4. I think Memo's team, I keep talking about how his pitching isn't going to work out, and then he goes and does something really good for his pitching staff. I almost want to go 5-5. So I'm scared this week, but it might be a 5-5 week for myself or 6-4. So somewhere in that range. If you want, I'll do this. I would go 5-4. I win 5-4.
See, you heard it here first. Memo is going to beat Matt, taking down the Giant 6-4. Memo is going to take runs, home runs, OBP, saves, whip, ERA. Matt's going to crush in Ks, crush in quality starts, RBI, and stolen bases. But I'll tell you, I think Memo is going to take it 6-4 this week. He's dangerous. He's a dangerous team.
If Scotty was on the podcast, he would ask you, if Matt's a Giant, what is he?
He's also a Giant.
Okay.
But he's not going to get killed this week.
Yeah, Memo. I mean, like I said, Memo's kind of put together a sneaky good, better pitching.
Selling off. He was selling off like 2 weeks ago.
And then a week, and then another week. I think Memo has more message board posts that say I'm selling off than anybody else does, and he never sells off.
Maybe Niz can borrow some of those message boards. Sorry, Niz. I'm just taking shots at you tonight.
You'll be getting a text at 1 a.m.
You will.
On to Chris versus Max. I think
it's the underachiever matchup.
Yes.
Both of them have a shitload of money and ain't doing shit with it. Well, Max is kind of, but.
I think Chris. I like Chris this week. I'm gonna have him 7-3.
I got Chris 2. I got Max 8.
And I got Ty 4-4.
I think
What
some
are
of
they
Max's
tying in?
Max's
Ty
players are
home run
gonna.
and RBI.
I think some of Max's players are gonna come through for him. Chris was on the Google Docs just earlier today, looking for something. I texted him like, "Hey, what are you looking for?" He's like, "Oh, you saw me on the Google Docs." I did. I'm always on them.
Creeper.
I'm always on it. I'm not telling you what he was looking for, but he was looking for something.
Creepy. You're creepy, man.
All right. On to Ken versus Niz. This should be a big win for Niz this week. This week versus Ken. I got Niz 8-2.
Yeah, I mean, if Niz doesn't win this week, he should just like we're gonna kick him out. We're gonna Niz is gonna be the new Pete. I give Niz a 7-2 victory.
I got Niz 8-2, but with the caveat that if he sells off midweek, this could change.
That's very deep. That's very deep. He sells. Yeah.
Great.
All right, me versus or Scotty versus Dave. It should be Scotty, going versus Dave. It should be another one-sided affair. I got Scotty winning big 7-3.
So I was looking at Dave's matchups. He's actually his pitchers. He's got some good matchups. Some of them. His pitching's not going to be that good. I think Scott could pretty much win the pitching on this one. But Dave's hitting. I got Dave winning all. I got Dave winning all the hitting categories except for stolen bases, and then I got him tying in something random. Otherwise than that, so I think it's going to be 6-5-4. Scott 5-4 Scott.
I think this is 8-1-1. Scott is gonna crush this week.
I still want Scott to win. So.
Well, I'm just calling like I see it, man.
All right. Me versus Sean. I'm hoping for a tie here.
No, 10-zip you, buddy. I don't want Sean to win either.
I got a 5-5 tie. I got myself hopefully winning the offense and hopefully stealing quality starts. I know I'm going to lose stolen bases, but I'm hoping to win the other 4 and steal quality starts somehow. I don't know. I get Nelson back this week from Milwaukee, so go Brewers.
PJ, you tweeted out or texted us. I mean that the state of Illinois is almost going to legalize the gambling for the sports.
Yeah, the 1st of 2020, January 1st.
So, like next year, can we bet on these? Can we bet like if I say Dom's going to win 10-zip, can I put like $100 on that?
No, you'll have to do it through one of the licensed operators. But you know what? I know a guy. Wink, wink. You gonna throw a few bucks on there, or we could work something out.
A derby guy. I know a derby guy.
Hold on. Bet here.
No, I actually got you. I think you're going to win this one, Domino. I have you 7-3. I like what you're doing.
And Dom, I think you're going to win 4 of the batting categories, but I think Sean takes it 6-4. You're going to lose stolen bases and the pitching categories. It's going to be close, though. It's going to go down the last day.
And then finally, Drew versus PJ, a battle of the
vetoes.
Of the vetoes. I know Drew had an off week last week offensively.
Hey! He did not have an off week.
I think you both have very similar teams. I like his pitching a little more than yours, but I got Drew winning 6-4.
Okay, that's fair. Matt, what do you think?
I really don't care about those two teams. Wow. I don't care if they're. I really don't. Whatever. 0-0.
I'm gonna say I win 7-3, but geez, man, that's rough.
I'll pick it. You're both 3-3 tie.
I mean, I get Altuve back next week. I get Tommy Pham back next week.
You get 3 players from Niz.
I get three of Niz's players, and then Jay Bruce is going to actually play on a good team. I'm excited. He plays for the Philadelphia Phillies now.
But he's also going to sit on the bench
Nope, they're saying he's going to start.
in left field.
Yeah,
We'll see.
we'll see. And he's got to be better than Seattle. There was no one for him to hit in.
That's
Solo home runs.
One thing we forgot to do is we have Scotty versus Dave. Scotty's
10-0.
name game. Yeah. So what do you got here? You got 10-0 you, PJ?
No, 10-0 Scott versus Dave. What is
the name game? So what is Scott's name going to be? So Dave's name right now is Bob, the Rebuilder. So I think Scott's name is going to be Scotty
the Bulldozer?
What?
The Bulldozer.
Scotty the Bulldozer?
Yeah.
Building. Yeah.
The Wrecking Ball. Marley Cyrus. I got nothing.
I got Scotty the Architect. I'm thinking.
Yeah, I was thinking something like Scotty the Scotty the Skyscraper. That doesn't really. No, that's bad.
I got Scotty the Architect.
I like that the best. I'll go with if you come
I'm back. 5-4. I beat Dom.
Damn it!
Really?
Yeah.
He stole. He got whipped back.
That went back.
Geez.
Looks like Barnes actually finished an inning, so he went from infinity to 3 for his whip.
What an asshole!
Did he get the save?
I mean, absolutely not.
At the top of the 9th.
Is he? Well, maybe. If he gets a save, that could change more. Oh, maybe. We'll see.
Hey, PJ, JD Martinez is not in the top 15.
Yeah.
And Reese Hoskins is. I'll trade you straight up Hoskins for JD Martinez.
Oh, I was gonna do that, but here's the thing: go fuck yourself.
But why? Their stats are probably similar.
You think so?
I would say so. Why wouldn't they be?
I don't know. JD Martinez is the 111th ranked player. That's interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So
we can take
so
this,
he's not.
We can take this offline if you want.
JD Martinez. Well, you look through it. You let me know. I threw it out there. Like I have thrown Reese Hoskins' name to 2-3 other people, and no one ever gets back to me. So that's fine.
All right, PJ, thanks for joining us this week. Any closing comments from you, sir?
Just
words of wisdom.
I mean, a huge thank you for letting me come on the podcast. You guys are, man, like I feel this is like being with 2 of my idols, right? This is a big deal. It's amazing. It's wonderful. I mean, think about all the talent on these 3 boxes right here. All this talent. And Domin and Matt are here too. It's amazing.
Well done.
This is PJ's first and last showing on the podcast.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Maddie, any closing comments?
Again, I say a lot of stupid shit, and it's all for fun. I was thinking about it the other day when I was driving to go get this beer, and how I think in the hour leading up to this podcast, I get so freaking worked up about it. Did I take enough notes? Did I do all the right stuff? And I usually end up shouting like 10-zip for Domino for the next week, even though I take like 15 minutes for each person's matchup. But I truly do love it, and this has been fun. What's that? I have no idea.
I'm actually writing out category by category everybody's stuff for next week. I'm doing my homework.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks for interrupting. That's fine. No, fun week. It's we got like 3 more weeks of baseball, I wanted to say, and we have 5 teams I think they're just like completely out of it, which is absolutely fucking crazy. But I still think that it's going to be a fun rest of the season. So here's to the rest of the season, and the summer's coming, buddies.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, thanks again, PJ, for joining us. Next week's guest will be Niznik. He'll be on it for his second turn. Hopefully we'll have a better show than we did last time he was on. Jill won't be yelling at Matt the whole time to watch Game of Thrones. So until then, you stay classy, Chicago baseball.
Peace out.